Welcome to the deep dive, ready to plunge into the AI news cycle. It's a lot to keep up with, but that's what we're here for.
Definitely a whirlwind of updates and new developments. Seems like every day there's something.
Absolutely, it can feel overwhelming. We've got our work cut out for us today.
We do. I mean, you've got everything from AI on factory floors to AI generating, well, let's just say interesting content. And even AI's role in government is evolving rapidly.
Yeah, and that's not even mentioning that wild AI-generated video that surfaced recently, the one with.
Oh, yeah, the one with former President Trump and Elon Musk definitely caught a lot of people off guard.
To say the least. It seems like AI is popping up everywhere you look.
It really is. Even Wired is reporting on how AI is changing things up in manufacturing. They had an article about how factories are using AI to analyze all that data they collect. It's not just for the white collar world anymore.
That's a good point. AI is reshaping all sorts of industries. And then there's that TechCrunch piece about Sonar Mental Health and how they're using AI chatbots to help with student mental health in schools.
Oh, right. It's pretty amazing how AI is being used to address these real-world problems.
It speaks to AI's potential, going beyond just technological advancements.
It does, but of course with all this power comes a whole bunch of questions about how to regulate it. Governments around the world are trying to figure out this whole AI thing.
Trying to find that balance between fostering innovation and keeping things ethical and safe.
Yeah, and there's no easy answer. The Guardian had an article about how the UK is actually hitting pause on their plans to regulate AI, possibly to align more with the more hands-off approach favored by the former Trump administration.
Interesting. And then Sifted reported on that Dutch tech company, Bird, I think it was, that just up and left Europe because of the stricter AI regulations there.
So you can see how these different approaches to regulation can have real economic consequences.
Definitely a lot to consider. Speaking of big impacts, what about the creative industries? It seems like AI is really shaking things up there.
Oh, absolutely. You've got artists and writers worried about copyright issues and whether AI is going to, devalue human creativity. The Guardian actually reported on how creatives in the UK are pushing their government to protect their work from being used to train AI without their consent or compensation.
Yeah, those are valid concerns. And then TechCrunch dropped that bombshell about the lawsuit that revealed Meta has been discussing using copyrighted material to train its AI.
Talk about adding fuel to the fire.
Right. That's a whole other layer of ethical and legal complexity to grapple with. And with all this AI development and investment, do you think we're headed for an AI bubble?
It's a question worth asking. Bloomberg had an article about how Microsoft canceled from data center leases, maybe because they overestimated the demand for AI services.
That's a pretty big signal from a major player.
And then you have Tradematics reporting that AI companies are now some of the most valuable in the world. Investors are definitely all in on AI's future.
But with all this hype, it's important to keep things in perspective, right?
Absolutely. And all the excitement about algorithms and data, we can't lose sight of the human element.
Because ultimately, AI is a tool built by and for us.
Right. And it's already impacting people's lives in ways we probably haven't even fully grasped yet.
Like how AI is being used to create those inspiration images you see everywhere online. TechCrunch had a piece about how those AI-generated images, especially on platforms like Pinterest, are creating unrealistic expectations for customers. It's a real challenge for businesses trying to keep up.
It's interesting, isn't it, how AI is shaping our perceptions and expectations.
Definitely something to think about. On the flip side, Vimeo's CEO, Philip Moyer, told The Verge that he sees the future of video as a collaboration between human creativity and AI-powered tools.
That's a good perspective, a reminder that AI doesn't have to replace human skills and creativity. It can be more like a partner.
Exactly. Finding that balance will be key.
It seems like we've just dipped our toes in today's AI news.
We have, and there's still so much more to unpack.
We've barely scratched the surface. We haven't even gotten to the potential for misuse, and how to regulate something that's constantly changing.
That's true. And it seems like there are some pretty concerning trends popping up already.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like, take social media surveillance, the example. OpenAI has been busy blocking accounts, particularly in places like China and North Korea, that were using ChatGPT, to build social media monitoring tools. Not exactly what they had in mind, I'm sure.
It sounds like a whole new kind of arms race is developing with companies trying to stay one step ahead of those who want to use AI for not so good things.
Exactly. And then there's the whole problem of misinformation spreading even faster. This is especially relevant with TechCrunch's report about Meta scaling back their fact-checking program in the US.
Oh, that's interesting. That doesn't sound great.
It's not ideal. They're bringing back that bonus program that pays creators for viral content. And while that might seem like a good way to support creators, it could also unintentionally, of course, encourage the spread of, well, let's just say, not entirely accurate information.
Especially if there's not enough fact-checking going on.
Exactly. And then there's the whole legal mess, the ethical dilemma, really, of using copyrighted stuff to train AI. That lawsuit against Meta, that's just the tip of the iceberg.
It's a big problem, no doubt. It feels like we need a whole new way of thinking about how we compensate creators and how we make sure AI is being developed responsibly.
Couldn't agree more. And what about the bigger picture, the global AI scene? It seems like the competition is heating up, especially between the US and China.
Oh, definitely. I read that DeepSeek, this Chinese AI company, is making some serious waves. They're coming out with these powerful AI models that are like really cost effective.
Yeah, that's a clear sign that China is becoming a major force in the AI world, and it's forcing everyone to, adapt their strategies.
So how's this playing out in the global market?
Well, companies are scrambling to keep up. Governments are watching closely too. It's like a new space race, but with algorithms instead of rockets.
And the way different countries are approaching AI regulation is definitely adding another layer of complexity.
For sure. We've talked about the US versus Europe, but there's another player we need to keep an eye on, India.
All right, what's going on there?
There's this huge debate in India about whether they should focus on building their own large-scale AI models or just concentrate on like AI applications. Basically a build versus buy kind of thing.
That's a big decision, and it'll have a ripple effect out on everything.
It will. You're talking about technological independence, economic competitiveness, even national security. It's a big deal.
It's kind of mind-blowing how AI is becoming so central to, like, global power dynamics.
It is. It's all about who holds the reins of this technology and how they use it.
And let's not forget about the financial side of things. There's just so much money flowing into AI companies right now. Valuations are skyrocketing.
Oh yeah, Tradematics reported that AI firms are topping global valuations. They're even surpassing some of the big tech giants.
But like we were saying earlier about Microsoft and those data centers, is there a chance all this AI excitement could lead to, I don't know, a bubble?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? I mean, so much money is pouring into these AI startups, often based on, well, on hopes and promises rather than, actual proof that they're making money.
It's a high-risk, high-reward situation.
Definitely. But beyond all the money talk, we can't forget that AI has the potential to really make a difference in the world, solve real problems.
Absolutely. What are some of the most promising applications you're seeing?
Well, for instance, there's this company, Augury, that uses AI to predict when machines are going to break down. That could lead to huge efficiency gains and be more sustainable too.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
And then there's the whole field of scientific discovery. Meta AI is developing these tools that could automate a lot of research tasks, which means scientists could analyze data faster, generate hypotheses more efficiently.
It's like giving them superpowers.
It is. It's exciting to think about the possibilities. But we also need to be careful, make sure we're developing AI ethically.
What's being done on that front?
Well, people are coming up with new frameworks, new benchmarks for evaluating AI systems. The goal is to make sure AI is aligned with human values, and doesn't end up doing more harm than good.
So transparency, fairness, accountability, those are the key principles.
Exactly. And at the end of the day, we have to remember that AI is a tool that we created. It's up to us to make sure it's used for the right reasons to build a better future.
It's a future where AI is more than just, a cool technology. It's something that's deeply intertwined with our lives.
And it's a future we're all shaping, whether we're aware of it or not. Every choice we make about how we develop, regulate, and use AI, it all matters.
We're talking about the future of work, how information spreads, what creativity even means, even what it means to be human, in a way.
It's a lot to take in, and there's no easy answer. But that's what makes it so interesting.
It's a call to action, really, for all of us to be part of this conversation, to stay informed, to ask the tough questions, to demand that AI is developed responsibly.
Think about it. What about AI gets you excited? What makes you nervous? Those are good questions to think about. Keep digging, keep questioning, keep exploring. It all comes down to finding that sweet spot where we can push the boundaries of innovation, but not at the expense of, our humanity.
Yeah, finding that balance, a future where AI isn't just this technological thing, but something that's like truly integrated into our lives, hopefully for the better.
And it's a future that we're all creating together, even if we don't always realize it. The choices we're making now about AI, how we develop it, how we regulate it, how we use it ethically, those choices have consequences.
They do. We're talking about massive shifts in how we work, how information flows, even how we define creativity, maybe even what it means to be human.
It's a lot to wrap your head around, and there's no single right answer. That's what I find so fascinating about it.
It's definitely a call to action. It's on all of us to stay engaged, to stay informed, to ask those tough questions, to make sure AI is being developed with the right intentions.
It is. Ask yourself, what about AI excites you? and what worries you? Those are important questions to consider. Keep digging, keep questioning, keep exploring. That's what we try to do here on the Deep Dive.
Exactly. And we hope you'll join us on that journey. We'll keep bringing you these deep dives into the AI world, breaking down the latest news and developments and, well, trying to make sense of it all together.
Absolutely, because this is a conversation that's only going to get more important as AI continues to evolve. Thanks for joining us today on the Deep Dive.
And we'll see you next time.